Hello everybody, I've made it back. I've got my setup redone for making our How to Do a Stardew Valley mod series again. I have a list planned out. We're going to start getting on this train again. And today I'm going to go ahead and do an overview of trigger actions. We're going to go ahead and look at the wiki to start with, because most of this will be shown on the wiki. So let me go ahead and get the screen pulled up. So this is the Modding Triggers Action wiki page. I will of course be putting this link in the description, and it does give you a full overview of what it does and what it is. So to understand a trigger action, you have to understand kind of what it is. It's kind of broken into two parts. The trigger is going to be what happens that causes your trigger action code to fire. So for example, if you have a trigger action set that after a set event you want the player to get a piece of mail, you can set a trigger action for that. That is largely what I've done for most of my trigger actions, is after this event send this letter. And there's all sorts of other things you can do. So the wiki has the full chart built in of the different things you can have your trigger action do, whether you wanted to add a buff, add an item, add mail. Like I said, I do that. You can add a quest. There's instructions for a full query here. I apologize for the cat. So I highly recommend going through the wiki page to see what the options are. It does explain the different parts of the code. And they give you some examples as well. And I am going to go ahead and show you my code because I think that's probably an easier way to see it. So like I was saying, most of how I use trigger actions is in my mail. For example, I think I have Father Joseph send a letter about a different bird for every heart level you get with him. So the way this is set up is it's action, edit data, which is usually the case. Our target is going to be data/trigger actions. You then will set up your entries field. The entries field again is pretty standard. You want to give your trigger action a unique ID so that it is easily discernible for the code to be this is this trigger action A and this is trigger action B. So what I have done is I have used the mod ID token and underscore, and then because most of mine are the mail, I've used the name of the letter that I want to send. So it's for me, I've done my mod ID TGC is the garden cottage, and then in this example Jackie 3-heart letter, because this is going to send her 3-heart letter. You then want this ID field. I tend to use the same as the name because this is the only place I use that name. Your trigger can be one of several things. You can do day ending, start day. Let me just look up what the third is. I believe it was trigger. Here it is. Day started, day ending. You can do location change, or if you have some sort of C# thing, there is a spot for adding a custom. So day started, day ending, or location change. Your condition is just like we went over with the condition statements. It's the same thing. Is what is your condition? So in my case, when you have 3 hearts with Jackie Davis, then that will set the trigger, and then my action will happen. And then my action, which is just action, is in my case is add mail, current for the current player, and then the name of the letter. So you'll notice this does not have the mod ID. This is just the name of the letter. My letter is up here, so that corresponds to this letter right here. So when that happens, that will send. And as you can see, I've done various letters with slightly different conditions depending on what it was. So for this one, the condition was has seen events. And really you can do a lot of things with trigger actions. That's the basic rundown. And if you just look at the chart, you can see all the different possibilities. I hope this was helpful, and until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.